We have joining us Arise senior correspondent Oba Adeoye from Ondo State, where he has been following proceedings and now standing by to provide us with an update on the crucial governorship election taking place there. Thank you for joining us, Oba. Some interesting times in Ondo State, especially seeing that the two major contestants, APC and PDP, have both served as deputies to the late Governor Akeredolu. How do you see that affecting or changing the dynamics of this election?
Yes, the election is still ongoing in Mobolanle, and you can see very peaceful atmosphere here at St. Stephen's Anglican Primary School here in Ijowu, Akure, the state capital. You mentioned the relationship between the two candidates of the PDP and, of course, the APC. We know that the two of them were originally from the same camp until maybe perhaps the death of the former governor Rotimi Akeredolu. Yes, that was what gave the opportunity to the incumbent governor, that Lucky Aiyedatiwa, in taking over the reins of affairs here in Ondo State. So the two of them, they are laying claim to that structure. Remember that Rotimi Akeredolu fell out with his former deputy governor, that's Agbola Ajayi, before picking Lucky Aiyedatiwa, who is today the governor. So the two of them have had some interactions with the Akeredolu political family until one, they had issue. Agbola had issue with Akeredolu, and of course Akeredolu died and then gave rise to Lucky Aiyedatiwa. But the support, you cannot easily gauge the support coming from that camp until after this election. The election result will tell you precisely where that camp stands, because as it is, everybody's laying claim to that camp. Remember, in the campaigns, Agbola Ajayi, claimed that Lucky Aiyedatiwa had tampered with the Southwest Security Network, popularly known as Amotekun, as promoted by Rotimi Akeredolu. Is saying that he was part of that team that gave Amotekun that strength in Ondo State until Aiyedatiwa came, into the picture. So the two of them are laying claim to the same camp, but the result of today's election will tell us precisely which of them the camp is supporting. But let me quickly tell you that there's a situation here right now, a small situation is brewing right now, right here, between some locals and a group of policemen. I don't know if my cameraman can lift his camera and move closer. The policewoman here, led this team of policemen and was telling the locals that they should move back from this point. But the locals are claiming that indeed it is their right to monitor their ballot to ensure that nothing happens to their ballot. But the police insist that nobody must sit down here and nobody must move beyond this particular tree here, because that is where some of them are standing. Let me see if I can speak with one of them. Okay, none of them want to speak with me to hear directly from them, but from the Yoruba language they are speaking, they are protesting the directive that none of them should sit on that tree trunk, that they should move back from this point. As it is right now, the voting...
Can we speak with any of the security operatives?
You want?
Is it possible to get to hear from...
Policemen will not speak with you. Policemen will not speak with you unless they have authority to do so.
Okay. Well,
policemen will not speak with you unless they have authority to do so.
You were speaking earlier with Jacob Pele on PWD's participation, and also talked about some subtle vote buying going on right there. I'd like to know how that is playing out, and also do you see any federal might playing or pulling any weight in these elections?
I don't know about the weight you are talking about, and I don't know about the federal might you are talking about, but everybody seems to be comporting themselves. Like I mentioned earlier, politicians have a way of, having their way around the system, especially when it comes to voters' inducement and, of course, influencing decisions of voters in an exercise like this. Remember, sometimes ago in Ekiti State, when, this slang came and you were, hearing politicians going around town near where people were voting, shouting, Edibo Esebe, Edibo Esebe. That's a way of telling the people that once you vote for a party, you just come around, come and take your pay, and then you can prepare a pot of soup. But let me speak with one of the independent observers here to hear from him about this issue of vote buying and voters' inducement, if perhaps he has any concrete evidence against anyone as regards that. So what's your name, sir?
I'm Engineer Jato Abido.
You are representing?
I'm representing the Niger Delta Youth Council.
Okay, can we just take a step forward?
I'm representing the Niger Delta Youth Council.
So let me hear your observations about this election, particularly as it regards voters' inducement and vote buying.
Okay, earlier this morning when we came to this St. Stephen Primary School in Jemu, Akure, we find out that a lot of the voters, there was a low turnout of voters here, just because of the fact that majority of them have already considered. They said that there's already, that the election has been compromised, that they don't want to come and cast their vote, and at the end of it all, their vote is not going to reflect that. So the majority of them were making reference to the 2023 vote, where a lot of them came out in mass. They casted their vote, and their vote was not represented. It was not did not reflect. So, but for now, our issues now will find out that, like you said, the voter inducement. My colleague said that there's something called spiritual voter buying now, because now we've been trying to see how we can get the security personnel to apprehend most of the people that have been paying for vote. But in majority of the units, polling unit we've gotten to, we've not seen anybody giving out cash. So we asked what is happening, and some of them said that it was a spiritual method, that the politicians have been able to upgrade and updated their method, and now what they are doing is spiritual, that they give them money through indirect means now. So, but for now, what my observations are is that the election has been relatively peaceful, apart from the fact that the police personnel and the security personnel are asking the voters for them to move backward, but they are saying that there's no how they can live, because they have casted their vote. They want to make sure that their vote is being counted in their present. So those are among the reasons that we are seeing the challenges between the. Okay,
let's talk about the performance of security operatives in this election. 30,000 policemen to work in an election where you have less than 2,000 people voting. Is that not an overkill?
Yes, what we say is that it's overwhelming. It's not called for. We're taxpayers, and you don't use our money to invest in things that are not needed. In Ondo State is different from the west, the southern part of Nigeria, or the southeast, where there are violence. Here is relatively peaceful. You have seen there was no confrontation, no ballot snatching, and so I don't see any reasons why you deploy a lot of police personnel that when you know that there are insecurity issues in other parts of the country. It's not called for, because we're just saying that taxpayer funds is supposed to be diverted into more of the economy issues, and maybe fixing our refineries, not investing in more this security that is not needed. Okay. But what I would say is that relatively it's been peaceful. Okay. It's been peaceful, so there was no need to bring this many policemen and security personnel down.
All right, thank you so very much. Thank you for your time and your thought. You listened to him. 30,000 policemen, that's apart from the military, apart from the Civil Defense Corps, apart from road safety officers, apart from other uniformed men. 30,000 policemen deployed to provide security in an election where less than 2,000 voters are expected to vote. That is his concern, and of course that concern has also been expressed over and over around town today, especially by observers and voters alike. But the situation right here seems to be quelled already, but the voters still insist that they are not going to move away from under that tree because they claim that it is their right that they monitor what happens to their ballot at the end of the day. You can see them there having like a chat with the policemen. They insist that nothing must happen to their ballot, and that is why they are standing there. And let me also tell you that the election was supposed to come to a close at 2:30 or until the last candidate or the last voter cast their vote in that election. And that is why you are seeing the electoral officials sitting down there idly, because the voters on the queue, all of them have been able to cast their ballot up until now. You can see the box there has been stuffed with ballot papers. You know, before now, you see a lot of people around there until the team of that policeman came around, you know, to tell them to stay back beyond or after that tree, and that is where they're watching. Up until now, no other voter is coming up right now, and according to what INEC told us, that until the last person on the queue vote, or 2:30 p.m., that is when the exercise will come to a close. So any moment from now, ballot counting will get underway across various polling units in town, and then we start getting early results from this exercise. You know, let me also remind you that the process entails that from this point they go to the World Collation Center, from where they move to the local government collation center before the final collation at the state. That's the state secretariat of the election management body, INEC. That is when we now start getting results, local government by local government, and of course the final result will come there. That time it will be the joy of victory for the winner, and of course agony of defeat for the loser.
All right, thank you so much, Oba Adeoye, for the updates right there from Ondo State. Keep your ears to the ground. We'll get more updates even as the election and situations pan out.